let's dive into what is going to be a massive grand final. The Melbourne Storm up against the Brisbane Broncos. What did you make of the prelims for both of these teams to get into it?
Well, if you go back to the Melbourne Storm, although they were in control pretty early, Cronulla went with them. They didn't kick any goals, Cronulla. So at about the 30-minute mark when Pappenhausen scored, once they went 8 up, it felt like the game was over. I just couldn't see Cronulla getting back into it. They're very clinical. They're so good, Melbourne. And you know what? Munster stood up. Pappenhausen. Jerome Hughes was incredible. He broke his arm 3 weeks ago or something.
They're spine players. They're big game players. Harry Grant, Jerome Hughes, Munster, Pappenhausen. They all just aimed up. And that's that was the difference between the Storm and Cronulla. And then, you know you're going to get off Melbourne. The thing is, the Broncos have given up big leads. What, they're behind by 18 against Canberra, 14 the other day. If they get behind by 10 by the Storm, they won't run them down. The Storm won't let them back in.
Yeah.
So a fast start, Brisbane need to be on from the get-go.
Brisbane, they've got to start really fast.
Were you surprised, Jerome Hughes? That's incredible. 3 weeks.
I didn't think it was a chance of playing. I thought it was all skullduggery. And a part of me was like, come on, Jerome, you're fair dinkum. Yeah. If you go out and you hurt yourself the first 10 minutes, you're letting your team down. He was the best player on the field. Scored that great try. You know, we talk about that is tough because the mental demons going into a game like that, he is some player, world class.
Geez, we've had some Warriors lately, haven't we? Blokes playing with injuries.
It's been incredible.
Oh, yeah.
What about the Brisbane Broncos? Freddie, you were lucky enough to be sidelined, just soaking in that atmosphere as well. What did you make of them?
Well, you talk about Warriors, Payne Haas. Like, he knew he was going to have to play big minutes without Carrigan there. He had to carry. There's a lot of young blokes in their team that hadn't played in big games. And it was interesting watching because Penrith put you so deep into your own backfield. So there was a stage there at about the 17-minute mark where Katoni Staggs and Dean Mariner had more runs than the whole Brisbane forward pack. Like, they just couldn't get back behind the ball at all. But they just had to keep making tackles and keep staying in there and hanging in there. And all of a sudden, the game changed a little bit in the second half. I thought Willison played a really big role. He helped Payne out, I thought. And then they all just started running a bit harder. And all of a sudden, popped through a few tackles, got a few penalties. And before you know it, it was 14 all. And Adam Reynolds stepped up.
Madge has been Michael Maguire, the coach. He's got criticised all year about how hard he trained him. He's a tyrant. He does this. If they didn't do that off-season hard work, they wouldn't have won that game. Simple as that. And half-time, I looked at the stats. Brisbane had made 70 more tackles. It was a 14-0 at half-time, so they're no chance. But then they somehow found a way. I think the big advantage for both teams was the week off. The week off is such a huge advantage. But what we have, we're going to have a grand final for the ages. This is going to be so special.
Yeah, I couldn't believe, Payne Haas's stats, 80 minutes and the numbers that he made. It was incredible.
He had one run in the first 20 minutes. It was like ridiculous. And all of a sudden he just came alive.
We were talking off air about Glenn Lazarus and where I didn't think I'd ever see a front row like Glenn Lazarus. And look, he won three premierships, 3 different clubs. But this bloke, he hasn't gone past him yet, but I've no doubt he will. This is a genetic freak. We won't ever see a player like this in that position in our lifetime. What I saw the other day, I still couldn't believe it. And then I looked at the stats.
Look at this.
He topped the tackle count. He was in cover to stop that. And when Nathan Cleary goes for the 2-point field goal, he's the first bloke there. It's just, he is just a freak of nature.
Certainly deserves that round of applause. I can't wait to see him on Sunday night in the grand final.
He was born near Newcastle, so would have been nice for him to play.
That one hurts. All right, well, we're going to get you guys to get up and put your votes in, cast your votes in, your tips for who.
His dirty toes out.
Joey's taking his shoes off.
Great.
So just put your head to who you think's going to win.
All right, my head.
Didn't have my shoes on, jeez.
Is going to stay here with Gal. That's some rough heads right there. Is that it?
Yep.
I've been tipping them all year, so I'm going to go to Melbourne. I think they can win.
Oh, there you go. A split decision. Where do you think it's going to be won and where do you think it's going to be lost?
Well, the Broncos they're the rock star team. I think if you look at 2023, the way they got back into the game, if you notice the other day, Ezra Mam, Reece Walsh, they just started punching through holes. they just started to accelerate. Once Penrith started to lose a bit of that energy, and I think they'll do the same. And they just need Payne. They'll have Carrigan this week. They'll have it better. They'll be further up the field, I think. So they'll just run hard a bit. Very much what Storm did to Cronulla.
Do you start Ezra? Is he back in the halves?
No, I'd keep it the same.
Keep him
I'd
off the
keep
bench?
it the same. I remember we sat on the couch here a couple of years ago with the Sunday Footy Show, and Billy Slater spoke about when the Storm beat the Bulldogs, and he said, we won that game in the video room. They came up with a plan to stop James Graham. James Graham was doing all that ball play, and they tweaked their defence. If there's one club, one team that can stop Payne Haas, it'll be the Storm. They'll have a plan. They'll have a clear plan how they're going to stop Payne. And it's one to plan it, there's one thing to do it, but I think they'll have a plan to stop Payne.
The one thing I will say, Ben Hunt, he was brilliant. He set up the try, but I think his service, he hasn't played hooker for a long time. Just watching him get the ball out of dummy half, that's pretty hard when you're fatigued. You went from playing 5'8" into dummy half. The ball wasn't coming out very clean, and either they'll do something about it and he'll work on it, or they might have another plan B around who spends most of the time at dummy half.
And who misses out when Carrigan comes back?
Tolty.
Tolty?
Yeah,
Okay.
unfortunate for him. I thought Willison was unbelievable.
Come straight on, got an error.
He's
That
a
was their first
giant.
error. Well, they don't make errors, Penrith. Come on, made a tackle, got an error, scored the try. He was good.
Yeah.